From the Samson Production Studios in the heart of Hazleton, Pennsylvania, it's your News 13.
Brought to you by SSPTV and the Standard Speaker.
A violent night in one local community. One man was hit by gunfire and police are searching for several suspects. Shots ring out in West Hazleton, our top story on News 13 for this Monday. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Kathy Bazinski. Police are still hunting for a number of suspects after a violent fight in West Hazleton. One man was shot, another was assaulted in that incident. The owner of the home spoke with Christina Papa and gave her the background on what led up to that early morning shooting.
Pieces of broken glass and caution tape are all that's left at the scene here in West Hazleton today. Last night, police swarmed the street after multiple gunshots were fired here at 227 East Broad Street. Police say an argument broke out inside. That's when things got out of control.
Numerous people went inside the house. An assault took place inside the house to one individual. And while they were assaulting that individual, they then shot the second person.
The name of the shooting victim isn't being released, but he was taken to Geisinger, Wyoming Valley Medical Center for treatment.
There was one man inside that home today. He did not want to be on camera, but he told News 13 that it was his little brother who was shot last night. He said his little brother is doing okay, but he's still trying to put the pieces together as to what exactly happened last night.
The man inside the home told News 13 he was upstairs when his younger brother was having a party last night. He heard 4 or 5 rounds go off inside the home, but police say at least 10 shots were fired inside that home and 6 more shots were fired from the street.
Maybe somebody did try to stop them, and then as the perpetrators were leaving the scene, they actually turned around in the middle of the street and fired more shots into the house.
Neighbor Renee Policonis says she thought the shots were fireworks when they woke her up last night.
I was sleeping and I heard 2 bangs, but I wasn't sure if the sound of it was loud.
Renee has been worried sick. She stayed up all last night thinking the shooters would come back.
I have a 9-year-old son living here, my 3-year-old daughter, my husband. Yep. It's very scary.
Police say this was an isolated incident. They're looking for multiple suspects in the shooting, and they say they plan to make an arrest soon. Anyone with information about the shooting is asked to call West Hazleton Police. Christina Papa, News 13, West Hazleton.
It's been nearly 10 months, but investigators have finally released a ruling on that violent deaths of a husband and wife in Butler Township last December. Butler Township police converged on this home on East Butler Drive last December 17th when relatives discovered a woman and her estranged husband shot to death in their home. Police say now that 51-year-old John Walton apparently killed 41-year-old Stacy Walton and then turned the gun on himself. They say a combination of interviews and forensic analysis brought them to that determination. Butler Township Police, the Luzerne County District Attorney's Office, and the County Coroner's Office all took part in the investigation. So how do you make kids aware of the reality of bullying and suicide? An emotional presentation has some local students and their teachers moved to tears today. Nationally known speaker John Harding visited Hazleton Area High School and spoke with students about the importance of standing up and speaking out against bullying, as well as the prevention of suicide. Harding's son Ryan was 13 years old when he committed suicide back in 2003 after being bullied in school and online. John visits schools around the country sharing his son's story to help prevent suicide and bullying. John was invited by the Luzerne County District Attorney Stephanie Salavantis and the state police to visit students at 16 area schools and their families and to talk about ways to prevent suicide.
I don't think his situation is much different than a lot of middle school students. There's a lot of kids out there who are on the edge, who are dealing with a lot of emotional issues, and bullying is their #1 issue.
Yeah, a lot of people could definitely relate to it around here, and I could relate to it. I was bullied from 4th grade to about 8th grade. But then you just kind of learn to stand up for yourself and say, they can't always affect me. I could keep going. You realize that people do love you and you don't always have people that will be mean.
And a reminder, John will hold a special meeting for parents and the community tomorrow night at Hazleton Area High School's auditorium. It just seems to keep on happening. An unsightly racial slur has already been painted over after it was spray painted on a railroad trestle in Hazleton over the weekend. This railroad trestle on South Church Street, which has often been the target of vandals, was marred by graffiti again, sometimes between Saturday and Sunday. The railroad trestle, owned by Norfolk Southern, was recently painted over, but has continuously been a problem area for graffiti. Mayor Newsy believes the same person continues to repaint the slurs on the trestle, and he thinks the issue won't be resolved unless people come forward with info.
The situation will probably never get corrected unless we're allowed to, or Norfolk Southern puts up a fence over there, because for some reason they're getting over that railing and being able to spray undetected. So we have to do something there.
And police are searching for the people responsible for painting those slurs. Anybody with information asked to call HPD. Lots of room for revitalization in the region, and residents of Pottsville say the city's downtown needs a hand. Matthew Petrillo on the proactive steps the city is taking to breathe new life back to the area.
Consultation with Lisa.
Lisa McMullen had her shop, Lisa's Flowers, in downtown Pottsville for 2 decades.
So we deliver to a lot of the businesses, to the local hospitals, the funeral homes. They're all centrally located right here in Pottsville.
Lisa likes to change around her shop for every season, but she says most of her customers don't even get to see the hard work she puts into the shop. That's because most of her customers aren't downtown shoppers.
I don't have many neighbors here for 22 years like I'm here, and if it wasn't for the business over the phone or over the internet, I wouldn't be here either.
She says downtown Pottsville lacks foot traffic, and that's why she's not surprised at all the empty storefronts around the area, including a bank next to her store that just closed. But city officials are hoping to attract new businesses in the area and bring back some of the city's old charm.
A good, vibrant downtown, but we believe that the only way that we can be competitive in the future is to continue to look at things down the road to help us to have an edge on other towns or other locations for business.
City Administrator Tom Palomar says the city needs to offer businesses better incentives. To do that, he says, the city is applying to become a Keystone Community. It's not a grant, but it's a title that could make Pottsville eligible for other grants it previously couldn't apply for.
Part of this designation is that you have to have a plan in place where you're putting your downtown business district in a better spot for being more competitive.
Now, 8 municipalities across the state were given the designation, but none were here in Schuylkill County. And if it does get it, Palomar says it could give Pottsville a big economic boost.
Although money specifically doesn't come from the actual designation, we are going to be hopefully in a better position to apply for grant money in the future because of the designation.
Part of Pottsville's plan includes filling vacant storefronts, encouraging businesses to expand, encouraging them to maintain and improve their current business, and improve the marketing of Pottsville's downtown. But Lisa says she hopes to see those words put into action.
And I would love new businesses to come into the area to bring more people into the area.
Matthew Petrillo, News 13, Pottsville.
And still ahead on News 13, a quick return to summer, then back to some beautiful fall temperatures. We'll tell you all about it in News 13 weather. But first, they always wanted to follow their passion, and now a local couple has done it. We'll show you how they're about their passionate new endeavor when News 13 continues. A Schuylkill County couple loves to work out. They also like to eat and shop, so they opened a complex where you can do all of that and a lot more. Matthew Petrillo tells us about the big ideas behind the Big Catch.
Located off Route 183 in Schuylkill Haven, the Big Catch is made up of 3 different businesses. There's the gym, which is just $25 a month and doesn't have contracts. There's a small boutique that brings affordable shopping to the area, and sandwiched in between it all is the cafe.
Who doesn't want to go to a consignment or thrift store and find a good catch, or a good find?
Chris Harris is the manager of the Big Catch and says the Perlman family opened it up as a family business.
We have the boutique, which has a lot of handmade items from local artists, whether it be bracelets or jewelry, and then we have some vintage clothes in there. And that was more of a vision of the wife and the daughter, what they had planned for what they want to see in the store.
The cafe offers delicious eats, and while the gym is on the small end, Harris says it has most things people need.
You're going to be able to get every body part worked out, and even more so than that, the big selling point is that there's not going to be any penalties if they cancel.
So why is it called the Big Catch? It almost sounds like they could be selling fish or pet food. But the real reason, Harris says, is the owners thought it just sounded cool.
They wanted a unique name for the store. They wanted people to feel like they can come and just find a good catch. Whether it be furniture, whether it be a handmade craft from a lot of local artists, or whether it just be, anything they're looking for.
And if you take a look inside the mom and pop shop, you'll find the items are just as unique as the store's name. Matthew Petrillo, News 13, Schuylkill Haven.
Time now for our regional weather from the National Weather Service. Checking out the radar. So moving to the evening, slight chance of a passing shower, maybe even a thunderstorm, but right now, nothing going on at all. Creative Conditions is all about stormy weather. It's by Jordan Klulsa, a student at Hazleton Elementary Middle School, and those guys better watch out. They could get struck by all that lightning. Now let's take a look at News 13 weather from the National Weather Service. For Greater Hazleton for tonight, a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms after midnight with a low around 58 degrees. And for Tuesday, slight chance of morning showers and thunderstorms, then partly sunny with a high up to 83. It'll be partly cloudy at night with a low around 68. And heading to Schuylkill County tonight, a slight chance of showers overnight, low down to 60. For Tuesday, cloudy, then gradually becoming mostly sunny with a high up to 85. Slight chance of evening showers and thunderstorms with a low around 66 degrees. And let's check the winning midday lottery numbers. Good luck if you played. The daily 900, the big 4 5328, Quinto 08322, and the treasure hunt 8 9 20 27 28. Hope you won.
Good evening, everyone, and here's tonight's Talk of the Town. There will be a sports and celebrity memorabilia auction Wednesday, October 2nd at 7 p.m. This will be held at the Diamond United Methodist Church. A $2 donation gets you in and includes refreshments. And you can call 570-454-4661 for more information. And finally, there will be a pasta dinner at the Hazel Township Fire and Rescue September 28th from 4 to 7 p.m. Advance tickets now on sale, just $6 for adults and $4 for children. And you can call 570-454-3411 for more information. That's tonight's Talk of the Town. News 13 extends our deepest sympathies to the family and friends of these recently departed. Ellen B. Moratelli, formerly of Hazleton. Funeral will be held Tuesday at 11 a.m. from the Padre Pio Parish, Our Lady of Pompeii Church in Vineland, New Jersey. Visitation will be Tuesday from 9 to 10:45 a.m. at the church. Robert R. Tino Bereznak of Drums. Funeral will be held Wednesday at 11 a.m. from the Harmon Funeral Home. Prince may call Tuesday from 6 to 9 p.m. Elwood and Woody Anthony of Whitehaven. Memorial services will be held at a later date from the St. Luke's Lutheran Church in Freeland. Burial service will be held privately at the Freeland Cemetery. James File of Drums. The arrangements are incomplete, will be announced by the Harmon Funeral Homes. And Helen Virginia Ginny Spade of Germansville. Mass will be Wednesday at 11 a.m. from the St. Joseph's Roman Catholic Church in Shepton. Services will be held Tuesday from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. at the Henselman Funeral Home. Tonight's obituaries have been brought to you by the Smilax Floral Shop on 15th Street in Hazleton. For delivery to all local funeral homes, call 570-454-0111. And by Doves of White. White Dove releases serving Schuylkill and surrounding counties. Call 570-205-1597 or visit them at dovesofwhite.net.
SSPTV Sports on News 13 with Fred Barletta Jr. and Ron Marchetti.
Lots to tell you about. We got a full schedule for this Monday to start the week. And of course, we have the start of the NFL season, college football going, Fun Fest weekend. But I'm going to tell you, one of the things that happens every weekend, one of the hidden jewels of the Hazleton area, the Mountain Speedway down in St. John's, and they had some really good action yesterday. And we're going to lead off with that because they're going to start winding down their season. So let's take a look. They do all sorts of different races down there. And in the modified 30 lap, it was Matt Hirschman who outran Brian DeFebo, and he came away with the checkered flag. In the street stocks, Kevin Higgins took the flag in the 25 lap race, and it was Ed Bichkoff winning the 20 lap factory stock. The 4-cylinder race, Tanner Fennell outran Scott Adams to take the first place finish there. And finally, in the Legends 20-lap race, it was Brendan Bach who was the first to see the checkered flag. That was the results from yesterday. Now, let's go back to some of the things going on today. We told you a busy schedule, and that's good because the weather is going to cooperate. We've got golf matches all over the place. MMI's at GAR. There you see Crestwood and Tunkhannock. Schuylkill League, a couple of them right there as well. Boys soccer, Pittston is the location. MMI traveling up there. Girls soccer, the Lady Cougars go to Coughlin. MMI is hosting Pittston. There you see the rest of the schedule in both the Wyoming Valley Conference and the Schuylkill League in girls soccer. Let's go to the tennis action. MMI is home. They're hosting Hanover. Hazleton area on the road. Tough match against Redeemer. Girls volleyball. Coughlin in town to take on the MMI prep team. Marion hosting Notre Dame. And Tamaqua goes over to play the Rough Riders of Catasauqua. Love some of the nicknames down there in the Lehigh Valley. Major League Baseball, the Yankees salvaged one game yesterday from that 4-game series with the Red Sox, and now they move right on to Baltimore where they have 4 with the Orioles at Camden Yards. Pirates, rough weekend against the St. Louis Cardinals, and now with Interleague, what do you have? Well, they're playing Texas. Doesn't seem to make much sense, but that's the way it goes. Washington and the New York Mets, that's a yawner. Who really cares now as we get into deep September? A lot of fans caring last night. The Giants looked dreadful and still somehow were in possession of the ball and a chance to win the game in the final 2 minutes before a 6th and final turnover. The Dallas Cowboys win. There you see the final right there. Pittsburgh, man, the Steelers didn't look good at all. Hopefully, that's just one-game jitters, but they got some key injuries now coming out of that game, so we don't know. And the New York Jets, well, they pulled one right out. Didn't think they had a chance toward the end. They win that one 18-17. How about the Eagles? Well, I'm sure you're getting ready for that one now. That's the first of the 2 games tonight. Eagles, Redskins, 7 o'clock start on Monday Night Football. San Diego has the nightcap, if you could stay awake. Tonight's sports is brought to you by Mountain Speedway. Here's a look at this weekend's action. It's going to be busy. Just $10 for grandstand admission. Kids under 10 are free. And if you're active military or a senior, you get a $2 discount. There's the website and the phone numbers. You could call them and get all the information on the excitement of racing down at Mountain Speedway.
September 9th, the day after Fun Fest. Hi, everybody. This is Trivia Treats. 41 years ago yesterday, in 1972, Cubs pitcher Milt Pappas retired the first 26 batters he faced and pitched a no-hitter to defeating the Padres 8-0 at Wrigley Field. But let's talk about the 27th batter. Pappas was 1 out away from a perfect game in the bottom of the 9th. Pinch hitter Larry Stahl swung and missed at the first pitch from Pappas. He then took a ball and missed again with a swing to run the count to 1-2. Pappas was only 1 strike away from baseball immortality. But with only a bit over 11,000 fans on their feet, Pappas threw 3 straight sliders wide of the plate. The last 2 were borderline calls, but the home plate umpire called them balls. Mother of God, how could he? Well, he did, with the score 8-0. Come on. The next batter popped out to end it. The no-no was preserved, but it should have been a perfect game. That happened in 1972. Former heavyweight boxing champion of the world, Lennox Lewis, who I met 20 years ago when he was training in the Poconos, is 48 today. But speaking of no-hitters, exactly 20 years ago in 1983, Yankees pitcher Jim Abbott pitched a no-hitter while defeating the Indians 4-0 at Yankee Stadium. That no-hitter was all the more remarkable because Abbott was born without a right hand. He overcame that handicap to become the Angels' first-round draft choice in 1988, following an amateur career at the University of Michigan. Abbott was also a key member of the U.S. gold medal baseball team at the Seoul Olympics in 1988. His major league career lasted from 1989 through 1999 with the Angels, Yankees, White Sox, and Brewers. Now let's go back to 1972 again while switching to football. On this day, 41 years ago in 1972, led by quarterback Mark Harmon, UCLA upset number 1 ranked Nebraska 20-17 at the Coliseum in LA. The defeat snapped the Cornhuskers' 23-game winning streak and 32 games unbeaten streak, including 1 tie. Mark Harmon, the Bruins quarterback, was the son of former Heisman Trophy winner Tom Harmon at Michigan in 1940. Mark will become, and is better known, as an actor, gaining his greatest recognition as Special Agent Leroy Jethro Gibbs in the CBS series NCIS. Finally, happy birthday to Joe Theismann, who changed his name to Theismann when he was contending for the Heisman while playing quarterback at Indy in 1970. He finished second behind Stanford quarterback Jim Plunkett. Joe Theismann is 64 today. Then see you Friday. Till then, be a good sport and stay loose.
And here's what our media partner, the Standard Speaker, is working on for tomorrow's edition. Hazleton area students hear the tragic story of a father whose son was bullied to death. You can read all about it in the Tuesday edition of the Standard Speaker. And plenty more news and information headed your way on News 13. People on the move to revitalize the downtown of one local city. That story and much more news from the 13 crew comes right back.